Welcome to Holographic Health Insights, the podcast where science meets soul for complete well-being. Join hosts Reverend Anne-Marie Byers and her daughter Rochelle Generis as they explore transformative health approaches that integrate body, mind, and spirit, from energy medicine to holistic practices.
Healing isn't just physical, it's divine. In this soul-centered episode, Anne-Marie and Rochelle reflect on how God's presence informs every layer of holographic health, from energetic alignment to spiritual purpose. Welcome back, everyone. Skip Monty here, co-host / producer, back in the studio with owners of Holographic Health, Inc., Reverend Anne-Marie Byers and Rochelle Generis. Nice to see you both again. How have you been?
Nice to see you.
Wonderful. Good to see you, Skip.
Well, it's good to see you ladies again, and we're back in the studio to talk about holographic health, and specifically today we're opening the heart space and exploring how God's wisdom flows through every dimension of healing. Can you ladies explain how does God fit into holographic health?
Well, Skip, Dr. Baruti was a Christian man. Dr. Baruti is our developer of holographic health. And before he would actually work on people or do his muscle testing on people, he would always pray and ask God for help. And I've always had a firm faith in God and always felt close to God. And so seeing how he interwove God into this modality was very important to me. And so we believe that when we test somebody, it is our soul talking to the soul of the person, and that God is the one controlling the information flow, and that we ask for God's help, God provides that help. And so we are firm believers in God and utilizing the help of God in everything we do. We look at God still as the center of holographic health and everything we do. And we had a wonderful practitioner out in the Nashville area, that new practitioners that practice other modalities, one somewhat similar to what we do, not quite, but similar. And she said, what holographic health does works so much better, because in her estimation, the developer of that modality was an atheist. God was not a part of the equation. And she said, holographic health works so much better because of that, because God is the center of everything we do. So I really, in my life, if I had not had God to fall back on, to call on, and to guide me, I don't know how people who don't have that manage, because I've always felt this peace and comfort and this closeness to God. And that just means everything to me. And so in our belief system, God is the creator and manifester of everything. He's the one doing the work. We are just his instruments. We are just his hands. And that is how we do our work and the core of our belief system.
I couldn't agree more. In everything should be God-centered. I think if it is, it's better. In what ways does spiritual connection enhance physical and emotional healing?
Well, like Ann said, when we're testing, we try to remove ourselves from the equation. And I think that's also a big part, like Ann has mentioned, I think in most episodes, why prayer and meditation and why that is such a big part of someone's health and healing. It just kind of brings balance to the body and reminds the body of the creator, and that he created our body to work as it is working. And sometimes things go awry, and he's given us tools to help repair those mishaps when they do happen. So I think continuing to pray through all of it is really a big part of keeping the body healthy and keeping the mind healthy and the spirit healthy, keeping that connection to God in all of those aspects. You know, thanking God for our meals, praying when we wake up, when we go to bed, before a meal. You know, it's all connected. And I think remembering that often really helps us to lead a balanced and healthy life.
And
you mentioned, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, and many people have heard about Dr. Emoto that did messages in water that were the beautiful crystals in water when you put love and kindness and prayer and God into the equation, and the crystal was beautiful, or if it was evil, it was ugly, and things like that. You know, when you pray over food, it changes the energy of that food. There have been studies on this, that you can affect the quality of your food and how your body assimilates it by prayer over your food, by blessing it before you eat it. Mm-hmm. And then, looking at Dr. Emoto's work, if you're putting positive energy and love and kindness into that food, then it's going to have an effect. When you are praying, you are talking to God. When you're meditating, you're listening to God. And so we want to ask for God's help, but then we also want to listen to what God has to say.
Yeah. And that's not an easy thing to do sometimes. I think it takes a lot of quiet. I've learned in my life, be quiet means connecting better with God and the Holy Spirit. I'm a Christian as well. Pray a lot. I believe in prayer. Speaking of that, how does prayer, meditation, or intention work as energetic tools in this framework, or can it?
Absolutely, because on our alkaline acid scale, prayer and meditation are extremely alkaline forming. And we talked about disease being acidic and stress being an acid forming condition. So prayer and meditation are extremely alkaline forming, whereas stress is extremely acid forming. So it's the energy of your daily life, and you want to live that daily life in the presence of God and in a prayerful state, so that you are living more of a stress-free life, trusting and having faith that God is there guiding you, and listening to what God has to say. So that is, from an energy standpoint, prayer and meditation and living a God-centered life are much more alkaline forming in the physical world than the hustle and bustle and stress and all of that in just a work-centered, physical-centered existence. So it's all a balance. We all have to live in this world. But the old adage, be in the world but not of it, has real meaning when you look at it that way.
Absolutely. How do you guys guide clients to integrate divine wisdom into their wellness journey?
Well, I think it starts with our practitioners. I know we're in a future episode planning to talk about our classes and how to become a practitioner, but we always start our classes with prayer. And we start by encouraging our people in our classes to listen to that divine voice and to get centered before. Sorry, I have a very excited little one.
She's right here, Mom. She's right there.
Laughter is a very alkaline forming as well. I will be there in just a minute. Yeah. Thank you.
Cameo.
We start with prayer. We encourage our practitioners to get centered and take themselves out of the equation when they are doing their muscle testing. And then with our clients, we honor every walk every faith, but most of us are Christians. And, we just try to keep that at the focus and the center and realize, God can do anything. He created this entire existence. He created our bodies perfectly, in my humble opinion. And, being able to kind of remove our ego out of it and get back to honoring how God has designed our bodies and given us these tools, I think really enhances holographic health. When, like Ann said with her, with our friend in Nashville who came across this other modality that was similar, but I agree, like having God at the center and knowing that we can call on him for anything and everything, really takes some of that worry and stress out of all of it. We're just trying to focus and listen to him and listen to the body that he's created.
And joy and laughter and all of that, as Rochelle said, are all important. You don't want to go around with a long face all the time. And, so what if you have a child who's really excited about getting her new dog? I mean, that is a wonderful, yes, that's a wonderful situation. And so you're going to have these things happen in life all the time. You're going to have things that hit you. You're going to have a car breakdown. You're going to have a new dog. You're going to have, things that even, vacations are wonderful, but they can be stressful. So it's looking at a balance of life. It's finding the right lens to look at it through, the right perspective. And, when you've had some major illnesses like I have, it takes a whole lot more to ruffle me than it does somebody who hasn't been through all those things. And when you trust that God will provide, that God has given you this situation, whatever it is, for you to learn something, maybe something to help others, then there's no better way to look at it, to say, okay, I know that this rough thing has happened, but this can turn out to be a real growth experience, something that teaches me a lesson that I can use to overcome something or help someone else. And even though, everyone has been through their own challenges, their own issues in life. Dr. Rudy used to tell this story about a holy man that went to this village and said, put all your troubles on this table, and then told the villagers to come pick out the troubles they wanted. Everyone went and picked their own, because you'd rather have your own troubles than someone else's. So whatever they are, God is there for help and guidance and to help you get past it all. And then, we believe in using that to help someone else overcome their troubles.
Wow. Well, I couldn't agree more. And just want you to know that was beautifully grounding for me. And I'm sure it will be for our listeners and viewers. And thank you for reminding us that true healing begins with the divine connection. So thank you for that. And Rochelle, we need to let you go see your new puppy and let that little girl.
Yes, adopt, don't shop.
That's right. That's right. Ladies, until next time, we'll see you on Holographic Health Insights.
Thanks so much,
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks for joining us on Holographic Health Insights. If you're ready to dive deeper into transformative health approaches, visit holographichealth.com or give us a call at 800-566-1522. Remember, your journey to total well-being starts here.